Hey guys, Cash Cooper here with another episode of Shift Alt Paradigm Podcast. Today's episode is going to be about the event. And the event is the expected solar flash at the end of a cycle that there is evidence of in history that usually wipes out everything and, makes a clean slate for the next cycle. It's now believed that while wiping out everything, there's a big portion of the entities living on the planet that if they're close enough, they're not wiped out. They are enhanced and biologically evolved in an instant to a higher being. It's like a cheat code at the end. Like if you're 75% of the way done ascending through hundreds of lifetimes, well, this solar flash can finish you. It can give you the other 25%. There's evidence in history that every time this happens, there is a huge market increase in the consciousness of the planet. The technology, what I'm calling technology, is like the tools that were used, that were carved out of stone, went from very simple to complex overnight, seemingly. Like music was introduced, like overnight, seemingly. So these cycles always come with them a huge jump in the consciousness of the planet.
Power off.
Excuse me. So that's expected now. It was expected on 2012. But there was not enough people ready for the spiritual harvest to yield anything, like we were discussing last time. So the higher ups, the ones who oversee this planet and the ascension process, and the spiritual hierarchy of the planet, and the Galactic Federation, all decided with God's approval that we could have an extension. And so it went past 2012. They created a time loop to give more and more people time to be ready, because if it would have happened then, the yield would have been so small. Almost nobody would have ascended, and that's very sad. Usually on the third cycle for a planet, the whole planet ascends. So there's been a lot of improvement done since then. There are now millions and millions of people that will ascend. It's now projected to be a third to a half of the planet, which is fantastic. But it's about to happen soon. And it's said that the trigger for this event will be our consciousness reaching critical mass. And what that means is, it's like the 100th monkey effect. There's some monkeys on an island over off Japan, I believe it is, or somewhere, where the young monkeys, they give fruit to the monkeys, and they put sand on the fruit, so they're all covered in sand. Well, the old monkeys just try to eat it with the sand on it, and it's gross. They don't like it. But the young ones, they taught the young ones how to wash it off, and so the young ones started washing the fruit off before they eat it. Well, all these monkeys are on different islands. They have zero communication with each other. But once the adults on the island with the monkeys that they trained how to clean it, once they learned from watching the little monkeys, the baby ones, then instantaneously, once the right amount of monkeys was reached, for their unified consciousness, their collective consciousness to understand about washing the fruit, all the monkeys on all the islands instantly knew how to wash the fruit without any contact with each other. So there's proof that we have a unified collective existence and consciousness, which is one thing of humanity as well as our individual ones. And it's said whenever humanity's consciousness reaches this 100th monkey effect about what's going on with us, what the dark side's doing to us, what the truth is, how our bodies and ascension works, and all of that. Once enough of us are of the light and are awakened, then it will be a critical mass event, and something big will cause the rest of humanity to instantly know and instantly catch up. And it's said and believed, and it sounds legit to me, that this would be the catalyst for the event. And the event is said to be a rainbow fire wall wave of love that hits the planet and all of its inhabitants and washes over us for a few days, and all electronics won't work, and we will then know, and everyone will know, that God exists, because we will be in the midst of him or her or it or us, in this wave of love, while it purifies us and changes us rapidly into higher dimensional beings. It's also believed and said that this will also scare the portion of humanity that needs to leave, that needs to go, to another third dimensional planet, because they can't exist in 5D, or their karma deserves it, and they've agreed to it already, would scare them to death, because the veil will come down, and what's on the other side of the veil is going to shock the shit out of every human being. There are so many entities watching us play this game. We're like in a stadium, and they're like in the stadium seats, betting and helping and sending things to us, and trying to trick us up, some of them. But they're not sitting way off in the bleachers. The stadium seating is right here around us. So when the veil drops, it's going to shock everybody, and the ones of us that don't even believe things like that exist, it's going to shock them to death. And that'll be appropriate, because that's how they've agreed to leave. And then that portion of humanity will be gone. This event has been called the Leveler, I guess because of that effect. But there's another theory that I read where Archangel Michael, and the spiritual hierarchy and humanity were having a discussion, and that humanity collectively just said, we all want to ascend. Isn't there a way that we can all ascend? And Gaia and Archangel Michael discussed it along with the spiritual hierarchy, and the decision was made, and they were surprised that we said that. The decision was made, that Gaia made it, to wait on all of humanity that wants to ascend to be ready. And so that made the first waivers, and the ones who are already ready have to wait a lot longer, but at least all the ones who want to ascend will have time. Now, I do not know if that story's true. There's so much misinformation out there, guys. The Cabal has teams and teams and teams of entities, as well as like banks of AI computers that just generate false channelings all over the internet and tell us things are okay, the war's won, there's no problem, everything's hunky-dory, when that's not the case. They want you to give up. They want you to stop fighting, thinking the war's over. They want you to get complacent. They want you to think that you're already done with your ascension work. So don't believe that. The truth is inside of you. Meditate and talk with your higher self, or get a trusted group that because you can't just listen to channelings on the internet. There's a lot of Cabal pretending to be Archangel Michael and channel information. So don't know exactly which story is true. The wave that kills half of humanity, and I've heard that it won't be like a fiery death. It's nothing to be afraid of. It is like a rainbow fire, and then when it washes over the ones that are leaving, they'll basically just be caught by their family in the spiritual realm. It won't be a death experience. It'll be they wake up in a new reality experience. So, and I don't think there'll be a bunch of bodies laying around either. It's not going to be like that. This event is going to be the most epic, perfect thing that's happened here in a long time, and I don't think it's going to be marred with a bunch of negative experience. I know that there are humans that in their sleep practice being traffic directors for when all those souls leave the planet, that they have to practice by showing the souls which way to go, because there's going to be billions of them, so they have to all be sorted. And there's stations, there's stop-off stations and sorting stations to decide who goes where. And I've heard it's just kind of a logistical thing. So there's lots of volunteers that are, in body now, but in their sleep they have to go practice and learn how to do all this stuff. That's interesting. But plans keep changing. Plans keep changing. God, who is amazing, we are all amazing, can change his mind anytime he wants to, and he does. I'm going to call him a he, but I don't necessarily believe that that's a gender that we embody as, the totality of God most of the time. But just for conversation's sake, let's say he. He can change his mind anytime he wants, and based on the progress of humanity in this time that was bought for us after 2012, they keep adjusting things. Like it's been more successful than was expected. So now that they see, well, if they extend it a little more, then they'll get even more people ready, more than expected. So the plan has changed multiple times, and who knows what the final plan will be. There's also the possibility that all of this is lies, that we're really in a matrix like the movie, and that when we look out with a telescope, we're looking at a green screen with a projection on it, and there is nothing out there, and that we have no idea what the true reality is like. And then all the channeling is just, the bad guys or whoever, our family who is playing this trick on us in this game, just going me 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 me, like it could just be something we can't wrap our heads around, and that is a possibility because we still have yet to verify that anything out there past our solar system really exists. I'm sure there's been people that have had experiences going to other planets, but they're not provable, and we haven't got a ship out there past that yet, and we haven't basically proven that anything out there really is there. So it could be just like the movie, and it is a game. Don't get mistaken that we are living in a game. Read the book, The Game of Life, and how to play it. That's a great one. It'll teach you a lot of things on how to get what you want. So if you want to help Gaia ascend, send her love every day. She needs it. Meditate, clear your ancestral karma and your own karma, and that'll happen automatically if you meditate every day. Become of service to others if you want to stay here. Set your intent to be only loving as many times as you can think about it throughout the day, and set your intent to always operate in your highest good and actually do it. Be honest. Your highest good, everybody knows right from wrong. So your highest good would be in every single situation, never choosing anything but that right choice. It's not easy. I work on it, and it's not the easiest thing in the world. It also means don't choose to sit around and do nothing all day. Your highest good would include using your time wisely and effectively and efficiently. That's the part where I'm slacking a little bit. And then, set your intent to always conduct yourself in a way that is good for all involved and doesn't infringe on anyone's free will. And you have to be working on or completing your life's purpose. And if you need to know what your life's purpose is, you can meditate and talk to your higher self, or you can go pay a psychic to open the Akashic records for you. There's lots of ways to do it. I'm not the best person to ask, but just Google it. So that's what this event is. The secret government, the secret space program of our government, the ones that are running this corrupt cabal, and the cabal are fully aware of this event. They have this technology called looking glass technology, which is basically you can see the future, and they can't see past this time right now. No one that uses the technology has a future past this time right now. It's all weird images. When it used to be, you could see your exact future. So something's about to happen. All timelines are speeding up to one timeline, which will be 0 point. And at that time, something cool will happen. Oh, and by the way, this event, this is my favorite part. When Earth is the last planet in this solar system to ascend, and that being the case, the entire universe, every planet in this galaxy and the universe are watching. They're watching intently, because guess what? When we finally ascend, it's like a domino effect. Then the galaxy ascends. Then our galaxy is the last galaxy in the universe to ascend. So then the universe ascends. and then our universe is the last universe in the multiverse to ascend, and then the multiverse ascends, and so on. And this event happens so infrequently that I don't even know if it's ever happened before. I'm sure it has, but it's been a while, and I doubt that even God knows what's going to happen to all of us. I would imagine, since we're all about games, that we collectively as God wrote in an algorithm or two for an unknown outcome, but definitely positive, that any possible number of positive transformative mutations or whatever could take place based on a bunch of factors, like how well you're dancing at the time or whatever. I just know that there's a big party to be had, that it's the biggest event that ever happens. It's the birthday of the creation, all of the creation, and everybody's watching. It's just us left, guys. So you don't have any privacy. You have a huge audience, and if you want to ask them to help you with your manifestations, they can. Just be cognizant of the fact that you don't have any privacy, and be cognizant of the fact that do a good job, because I want to stay here. I don't want to get moved. I want to be a part of the biggest party in the world. I used to throw raves back in the 90s, and I am wanting to plan a party for this, and I want the event to happen right at midnight when the bass drops during the headliner. And I just think that would be all appropriate, and have all the ETs land, and even the dark ones, the demons, they're just playing roles. They're just playing roles in this third dimensional polarity game of learning, and they can step out of those roles if they want. But if they don't want to, they can be escorted out either way. But yeah, that'll be fun. So anyways, that's the event, y'all. I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I'm sure I left some information out, but we'll discuss it at a further time. But learn how to integrate the energies that are hitting the earth right now with this event. We're having coronal mass ejections daily. It's high vibrational plasma. We're in the photon belt, which is a fog of high vibrational solar plasma in the solar system that we just moved into. And it's transforming us. It's transconfiguring us, just like it talks about in the Bible. And learn to affirm that you will assimilate these energies, the positive ones, effectively and usefully, and the negative ones aren't affected, but you aren't affected by the negative ones, and they go around you, and just stuff like that, because you want to make use of as many of these energies as you can, and if you don't intentionally do it, then it doesn't happen. So meditate, focus on being a magnet for positive energy, and utilize it. Lots of other things. Comment, let me know what I missed. Let me know what you want to hear me talk about. Let me know what you think. And if you're happy with this, if any of this information serves a purpose for you, or if you like it, please let us know with a little donation how much it helped you. We sincerely appreciate anything that you can help us with, and we don't have an income other than this podcast. So we're hoping that eventually it can actually be a viable means to pay the bills. But we appreciate you listening, and we hope you come back. And I bless and multiply your joy times 100. And we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.